Good afternoon. Welcome to the Crook County Board of County Commissioners special meeting. Today is Friday, December the 19th, 2025, and it's 1 o'clock p.m. This is a special session agenda. Is there any public comment before we get started? There's no one here. Online. There's no public comment, so we'll start discussion. Will Van Vactor, County Manager.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners, or afternoon, excuse me. For the record, Will Van Vactor, Crook County Manager. We are here today to continue our review of each department's core services description. Today we're going to be discussing the core service descriptions for the County Clerk, the Assessor's Office, and Road Department.
Ready?
I was born ready, Brianna. Thank you.
Yep.
I'll just make a couple brief introductory comments before we turn it over to the county clerk. So why do core services matter? They clarify what's essential, what aligns with operations and budget and statutory obligations, as well as community priorities, and provides a common framework across departments. What we're aiming for are clear core service descriptions that we can use to guide planning, staffing, and service level decisions. The definition of core services in the public sector setting, definitions up there, but basically core service descriptions are the fundamental essential functions a department must perform to fulfill its mission and serve, in our case, Crook County. Key tests we're applying as we review our core service descriptions is what is legally required or mission critical, what is essential to public as far as public goods and services that protect health, safety, access to justice, and countywide infrastructure, and what is necessary for operational sustainability and continuity. For governance, these core service descriptions help us determine what services should be prioritized in strategic and financial planning. The core services description should include should describe what the public expects and are essential to us being transparent and accountable to the public. For today, and as we've done with prior departments, we'll use this definition and this framework as we review the core service descriptions prepared by the clerk, the assessor, and the road superintendent. And as we have also done with other core service descriptions discussions, we'll incorporate any feedback we receive from the board and bring it back for final approval sometime in January or February 2026. With that, I will turn it over to our county clerk, Cheryl Seeley, to discuss the clerk's office's core service description.
Good afternoon, everybody. And for the record, I'm Cheryl Seeley, the Crook County Clerk. And so, County Clerk's Office, our mission is committed to maintain public records in accordance with the law and ensuring that election processes are conducted efficiently, fairly, and transparently for all citizens. And the office strives to provide efficient, courteous, and high-quality service while upholding the highest standards of integrity. And so the purpose of the clerk's office is to serve as the county election official, the county recorder, public records officer, and to act as the clerk of the property value of his ward. And we maintain the records of the Board of Commissioners. We issue marriage licenses, domestic partnerships. We serve as federally appointed passport agents, and I am the manager of the passport agent facility. And we also act as notary publics for the state of Oregon. So our first core service is recording, and so the county clerk's office records documents that affect title to real property located within Crook County. When a document's received for recording, it is checked for compliance with the Oregon recording statutes. And if a document can't be recorded, it is returned to the sender with an explanation of what is wrong. And as the document is recorded, then it's indexed and An image is created, we scan that image in for future document retrieval and for archiving purposes. So, and they are indexed as they are recorded, so that index is available to the public at the same time or to the assessor's office. So, our key activities for the recording part is to record, scan, and index documents, which include deeds, mortgages, liens, death certificates, subdivisions, partition plats, boundary surveys, and mining records. We permanently archive and maintain all records that are recorded in our office by administrative rule. And we do have some documents, I didn't put that on a slide, but we do have some documents that come in as filed. They're different than recorded, and that's very, very few. We only have like a 2-year retention on those. They get filed, stamped, and filed away, but I get a few of those every year. So the impact of recording, we ensure that statutory and constitutional compliance while maintaining essential records of deeds, mortgages, liens, and property divisions. These records secure property ownership, enable access to loans, define boundaries, and support legal and financial transactions, forming the backbone of property rights and county operations. And those are always available to the public. We do have a few documents that we record, such as military records. We'll get into that later, but those are held in confidential status. So, and these align with goal number 1, 2, 4, and 5. Our next core service is elections. And so the county clerk is the chief elections official for the county. We conduct all the elections in the county, whether it's for special districts, county, state, federal. Our key activities is we register voters and maintain the current voting lists. That's something that's done daily. We accept declarations for candidacy for public office, and we plan, coordinate, and conduct all elections. And that sentence is huge, because plan, coordinate, conduct all, it's all from the beginning to the end. There's a lot involved, and that's such a little short sentence for that, but it's everything. Everything election happens in my office. Impact, so we ensure that citizens' voices are represented through fair, transparent, and legally compliant elections, safeguarding the integrity, accessibility, of public trust of the electoral process, which is recognized as critical infrastructure by Department of Homeland Security. And this complies with goal 1, 2, 4, and 5. So one of the other core services, of course, is the public records, and again, that's our marriage licenses, domestic partnerships, military records, mining records. The clerk's office is the public records office, and we're responsible for many records and services. Nobody can hear me? Nobody online wanted to hear that anyway. The key activities for the public records part is we issue, record, scan, index, archive marriage licenses and domestic partnerships. We maintain military records and mining records, and we preserve and archive our Board of Commissioner meeting minutes, packets, orders, ordinance, and resolutions. And we ensure the public has access to all allowable records while maintaining the preservation of these records. So we try to have different programs and software that allow ease of public access to these, and except, like I said, military records are held confidential, but most of the other records are public records. So, and the impact this has is it ensures the accuracy, security, and accessibility of the important public and legal records. It protects citizens' rights and upholds transparency and accountability in government operations. And it also ensures the continuity of governance by maintaining official documentation of laws, policies, and governmental actions. And this aligns with the goals number 1, 2, 4, and 5. One of the other core services that we perform is a passport acceptance agent. And this is not by statute, it is just because there is not another passport acceptance facility in the county. So this is important to provide this service for our citizens. Most post offices do it, but our post office does not. So we offer it. So the county clerk is a federally appointed passport acceptance agent. I am the passport agent manager, and then my staff is all passport acceptance agents and have continuing education every year with the Federal Passport Agency. And so we accept passport applications and related documents from the applicants. We verify the applicant's identity, and we gather their required information, and we forward those applications to the passport agencies for processing. And so this provides a unique and essential service to the Crook County residents, ensuring that they have local access to passport processing. And this aligns with Goal 1, 2, and 4. So I mentioned earlier that I am also responsible for the Property Values Appeal Board. So the clerk is the official clerk of that board. That board used to be the Board of Property Tax Appeals, but was changed a few years ago in statute. Role didn't change, just the title did. So the clerk handles all the administrative duties of that board and serves as a liaison between the board members, taxpayers, and the assessor. And the key activities for this position is to identify, recruit, and appoint board members in coordination with the county governing body. We receive, log, and screen petitions, including issuing defective petition notices. We schedule and notice board sessions and hearings, including postings and notifications. We ensure that the board members complete their required trainings. And I maintain the official board meeting records as I am delegated by the board. And then I prepare and amend, if delegated by the board, and distribute orders for the members' signatures. And then we complete and submit the summary of actions to the Department of Revenue. And this provides citizens with a formal, transparent process to challenge property assessments, ensuring fairness, potential tax relief, and a clear understanding of their rights in the property tax system, while the clerk ensures that the process runs smoothly. And this aligns with goal number 1. And so the key metrics, of course, is going to be our accuracy of recording and elections, all of the other things as well, but those are the two main ones that you can verify that everything's been accurate. And then we have a lot of strategic partners. I kind of named a big list of them, but we work closely with the assessor's office when it comes to the Board of Property Values Appeals. Daily with the finance office. We do daily deposits and payables. Work really closely with the Oregon Secretary of State's office and their elections division. And I am a member, and my staff is members of the Oregon Association of County Clerks. So we have an elections division of that and a recording division of that. And then, of course, I work closely with county leadership and some of the other departments. We have a lot of technology and software partners. We have public stakeholders and the voters, and then a lot of title companies and document purchasers that we deal with on a daily basis. And so our recording numbers increase and decrease, of course, depending on the housing market and interest rates. Currently, they are below average, but I was looking this morning, and they're actually coming up a little bit, so there's hope. That's a good thing. And that is our main source of revenue for the office. So one of my other concerns, of course, is always security during elections. That kind of is heightened every year. It kind of seems to continue to grow. And then future election funding, depending on what legislation passes, changes our whole process of election. Hopefully it won't change it a lot in the future. So. And before we get into questions, I have kind of a quote that I thought was really neat, and I wanted to read it. It is from our Secretary of State, Tobias Reed, and he did a public service announcement the other day, I think it was yesterday, and he has toured all of the county clerk's offices throughout the state. Just finished up in Lake County. He was back in my office back in April. And his quote is, county clerks are on the front lines of our democracy. They protect our elections, safeguard public records, and make sure every Oregonian's vote is counted. People don't always see the work county clerks do, but make no mistake, county clerks are vital to the daily life in our state, and they carry out that important work with diligence and integrity. So, you guys have any questions?
That's very nice.
Nice.
Pretty simple, but yet pretty complicated.
So I have visited your office, and I have come down and asked questions and whatever, and you run a very tight ship, Cheryl.
Thank you.
But I also want to compliment you when the Democrats had Tobias Reed here, and you were partnered with him and you did your presentation. You represent Crook County well. You did very clear and concise answers, and I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you. That was a really a real honor to get to present. I usually get to present to both the different parties, the Republicans and Democrats, usually before an election, especially before our major elections. But to get to do it with Secretary Reed was really an honor. So it was really neat, and it was an absolute joy to see the people that turned out and to have all of the questions that they had for us. Because the more the public questions what we do and we can share that with them, the better we are. So
You did a good job.
thank you.
So a while back, you were working on the digital recording of documents. How did that wrap up? It's going to be a continuing thing probably, but can you tell me
So-
how that's going?
I have, I was kind of hoping to roll that out at the first of the year. I need to come up with a way to announce that to the public while saving money doing it. A lot of the other counties put a flyer in with their tax statements when they went out, when they did theirs, but we weren't ready for that and they didn't have room in there when I had talked to her about it. So I'd like to be able to roll it out, and we were going to kind of try to pick a date. I'm going to shoot for January 1st or January 2nd will be at the rollout for that property records alert system. It's called PROS. So we can roll that out, but I'd like to get that on our website and try to get that out in a press release and get that out to the public so they can sign up for that and be alerted if something records in the names that they register with us. So, but yeah, that's ready to go. And our records, you guys probably knew that. I'd mentioned it back. I think right around the first of this last year, the index is out online for everybody to see. You can just go on. It's called our digital research room. You can look up that. And if you want to see a document, you have to purchase it. And so you can just add it to your cart and it'll email you the link once you pay for it. So, yeah, so that's kind of easy access. So people don't have to come in and use our public terminal. They can, it saves them the search fee and some of that. They can view it for free in our lobby if they want. That gets used a lot. It's kind of saved a lot of staff time having to email somebody a 2-page document that's going to cost you $3.75 plus 25 cents a page, and 15 minutes on the phone getting credit card information and stuff when people can just do it themselves is very nice. And we're just found out this morning that there is a way, and I learned this from the Umatilla group. There's a link that I can get through Point and Pay that when a customer does call, say for a marriage license and wants to pay for it over the phone, rather than us entering all of their credit card information, because a lot of people don't like to give you that number, but they will. Then we can just send them a link. They can enter everything in, and then we get notified back that it's paid for and we process it. So that was a kind of a new thing to us. So we'll get working on getting that set up today. So
That's good. That'll
Yeah.
cut down on your time and
Yeah.
help people that don't want to
save us some little bit of
take care of
time.
themselves.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Cheryl? Next up, we have the county assessor, John Solis.
Speaking in the microphone.
I think we fixed it.
Okay, great. Well, for the record, I'm John Solis, the Crook County Assessor. And I'm here to discuss the core services of my office. All right, I guess I'll start with the mission statement. Serving the public through the administration of assessment and taxation of all property as mandated by the state of Oregon, with proactive communication and excellent customer service aimed at the highest level of fairness, accuracy, integrity. Those are our goals. Description of essential functions. Yeah. Yep, I'm just looking at the slides and seeing what's matching here. Determine the real market and assess values of all property in Crook County. In addition, the assessor's office maintains ownership, tax lots, tax code areas. We prepare an annual tax roll for almost 19,000 accounts. Most of the duties are performed by state statute and or administrative rule under the supervision of the Oregon Department of Revenue. along with other services to the public, to taxing districts and other agencies. Core services overview. So this one is the appraisal area. We maintain real market values and assess values of all property types as established by Oregon administrative rules. That is ORS 308-232, by the way. Some of the key activities with this are appraising new construction, maintaining special assessments and exemptions. We reappraise any underperforming areas and expect damaged or destroyed properties. And by underperforming areas, basically we're meaning with that it falls below statistical standards that have been kind of set in place by the state. So we also submit an annual appraisal plan to the Department of Revenue. That's ORS 308-050. We defend property values before appeals board and tax court, as Cheryl described some of that a bit ago. Also, we conduct an annual sales ratio, which includes sales verification, and where it says boundary identification, it's actually study area boundary identification is what that is, which is basically alluding to, we have maintenance areas in the county we've kind of divided the county into 6 maintenance areas of focus. And then within that, we have these neighborhood value areas. So we've got dozens of those in these maintenance areas overall. So they change slightly from year to year. It might depend. So an example of a maintenance area or a neighborhood, I should say, would be Rosada Ranch. And their values based off of their sales are going to be different from something over at Iron Horse here on the other side of Bryanville. So areas like that. So impact, fairness with up-to-date appraisals countywide. It'll bring revenue and value consistency to Crook County as it affects both budget and property tax amounts. The lack of accomplishing this brings compounding value issues as well as a lack of property tax consistency. And then lastly, how it aligns with our Board of Commissioner goals and priorities is 1, 2, and 3 on the goals there. Another service area that we have is assessment records. We were mandated basically to have an inventory of all properties in the county. So, which is maintaining also current property ownership, maintain and review tax district levy data is another thing that we do. We also process veteran exemption applications, senior deferral applications. We process special assessments. That would be something like a farm deferral program and monitoring that. And also anything that deals with basically water districts as a whole. We actually don't have drainage districts. I'll need to remove that one from the list there. But fire patrol is another thing that we have to monitor the rates received from other third-party entities involved with that. We certify a joint value involving other counties. We calculate tax rates, calculate taxes, and we also process omitted property and clerical errors. We have about 20 tax districts, by the way, which includes 18 entities altogether. Other key activities, this is the day-to-day operational activities involved, is basically all the stuff that I've just mentioned above. And back to inventorying and updating that inventory is a huge thing. It's similar to what our clerk just said. A couple words or one sentence could be actually a lot of work that we're involved with. That is one of those. The impact, well, these day-to-day functions must be accomplished timely and accurately to reduce the number of issues to create an accurate tax roll each year. Alignment with the BOC goals is goal number 1 and goal number 3. Our third service area here is certifying that property tax roll that we have. Key activities involved with this are obviously certifying it, but also extending the taxes to our tax collector. Assessment office, as you know, has nothing to do with actually collecting the taxes. We don't deal with any of the actual, monetary receiving. We are strictly the values, and we use those values, multiplied with the tax rate from those districts to compute what that amount will be for all those districts involved. Other key activities, certify the value of all properties and corresponding tax amounts in the county. We extend those to the tax collectors I've just shared, for collection and tax, and for distribution to those tax districts. Impact that this has overall, well, it supplies the operational revenue, not only to the county, but to all the taxing districts. Alignment with our commissioner goals and priorities is goal number 2. We move into some metrics and service standards. Again, with our county role, assessment role, there's obviously time parameters with this that come into place. So a timely certification of the assessment role is has to be done. Also accuracy of real market value, maximum assessed value, and assessed values. Another bullet point would be the percentage of taxable accounts included and accepted by the Department of Revenue. This is actually an alignment area for what the Department of Revenue. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to edit this one a little bit from our verbiage here. Basically, it's aligning with what the revenue amounts will be for all Crook County taxing districts. So I'll just leave it at that. Our next performance metric is our annual ratio study, again, required by statutory. This goes into completion and submission by statutory deadlines. And then we need to get and have to get an Oregon Department of Revenue approval. And then the reference here with no or minimal findings is actually referring to any issues. Obviously, we want this completed with the least amount of issues at hand. So the non-mandated services that we get involved with also is with a number of public agencies with their requests that we complete. This could be anything from a taxing district item or request of like their boundary information and account information that's involved with that. Other services that we provide are like if there's a potential refund credit being issued, might be connecting with those districts and giving them information on what's going on. Other requests that we get that are non-mandated services would be like city requests or similar type data of a taxing district area, or possibly enterprise zone type information. We get involved with that highly. Other things that we do that are non-mandated is we get tax estimate requests often and records that need to be updated. The accuracy of those records is very important, even down to situs addresses or other structural type data. That stuff gets noticed by the public and other agencies quite often if there's some issue or something that they don't understand, and it could be something that we need to correct or that's forthcoming with the correction that we have to explain. But these things come in randomly to the office. Some other partnerships, as far as key partnerships that we deal with. That's other county departments, which actually extends into our county clerk, our finance office with the tax collector, could be the planning department, the building folks, our attorneys, even with county manager and other local government agencies and regional organizations. Other partners that we have are state agencies, it's the Department of Revenue themselves, our taxing districts and any other assessment offices we're highly involved with as well. Our state organization is no longer called Osaka. It's now called OSATCA, where we have joined with the tax collectors and the assessors. We're all one group now, when prior to over a year ago, we were actually two organizations. We've now united as one. So I am actually also the district head for our District 4 group, which twice a year I hold a meeting with 6 of our counties that are basically adjacent counties, and we kind of do a networking together, check in, and I might ask, how'd certification go for you guys? Any issues? What are you facing in your county? What are some economic things going on? Some areas like that we'll discuss as a whole. And then I actually report that information to the organization when we have our conferences twice a year. So, and that's getting a little bit more busy, a little busier with the organization now as 2 entities a part of it with the tax collectors. It's kind of doubled in size. So it's taken up quite a bit of time to organize and discuss all that with these folks, but it's a real joy and a treat for me to do. Other third parties that we are involved with would be the real estate professionals, our title companies, outside attorneys outside of the county, banks and businesses in general, and then just the public. So this all aligns with our county goals of number 1, number 3, and number 5. Then our last subject here would be the potential budgetary considerations. So continuing education costs is one that I put on here. Over the years and quite a bit since COVID, we've had limited state options. And so we've had a kind of an increased reliance that we've had to go to different third-party sources, which would be like the IAAO, which is a kind of a nation. It's actually a worldwide organization of assessing officers as well to get some of that education. But that does require some travel there. So, but I am happy to say we're noticing some more course education starting to pop up with the state getting back to that. But a lot of the in-person stuff has been either eliminated or reduced. I've noticed. I used to attend functions that were 4 to 5 days long, and now they've condensed some of that to 1 to 2 days. So it does make a difference on when you're trying to get a certain amount of credit hours, and you can't rely on a longer gathering, a class session to grab those, and you have to get them from other sources multiple times. So I have to have registered appraisers in our county, by the way. That's a part of ORS as well. 308010 requires that. And as our managers, like myself, and I have 2 supervisor staff in the office, we have a slightly, we have 15 extra credit hours that we actually have to account for every 2 years. So I have a little bit extra of continuing education there. Next thing here on our budget that impacts is, as you know, I complete a CAFA grant every year, which gets applied to the state, and we've had reduced funding on that. Right now it's covering about 11 to 12%, if not just slightly less, of our assessment budget. And I've shared some of this information in some of my meetings with you guys, but I did peek at it here, and I went back a couple decades on what the grant covered for our county. I thought it was of interest here. In 2002, it covered 32% of our assessment budget. In 2012, a decade later, 20% was that coverage amount. And the current one actually right now is at 10.5%. So this has been a statewide issue with all assessment offices. We do have our legislative things that we're looking at with our OSATCA group. So it's been at the forefront of legislation. It was in the last session. It didn't pass for some various reasons. So we're looking at revamping that again for the next session coming up in January. So.
Is that just because the state is putting the screws to the county?
Say that again, George.
In a nice way. Is that due to the state withholding extra finances?
No, this is based on fees that we collect a lot from the county clerk. So those fees have not been raised. We're actually trying to raise the fees. There has been some opposition there. So that's where the bulk of that is funded from. So basically, none of those original fees and standards have been changed in 25 years or so. The CAFA grant originated. So, and as we know, inflation and costs of everything have gone up, and these have not, there's no catch up to it. So we are even trying to implement some kind of a 3% increase into this as well somehow, is something that would help it to increase instead of becoming destabilized basically and decreasing each year. So, but no, not something that I can think of at the moment that the state is actually holding back revenue from us. I wouldn't say that's the case. And my last bullet point here is on technology type of expenses as far as a budgetary consideration. You know, we've had some areas that we've invested in over the years. Those have been helpful. But also, again, rising costs is impacting us as well to keep up with some of that. And yeah, each budget season that we come around, I'm trying to connect with all of these sources and that we currently are, you know, subscribed to basically to see where they're at, what those increases might be, and the reasons why. You know, I like to get a little bit of a justification for that. So, and a lot of what I'm hearing is, again, their inflationary reasons, their cost of wages going up, and even things like computer supplies, things like that, those costs increasing. So it just trickles down and affects us all, affects my office too, trying to be as, you know, careful as we can with it. So at that, that's all I had there, other than answering a few questions if you guys have something in mind.
I don't think I have any questions. Thank you, John.
The 18 to 20 other taxing districts that you are responsible for, is there, that's mandated by the state, and so are there any income from that? Do you receive any fees?
No, don't.
It just is a straight crossover.
Basically a service that we're providing by, you know, like, let's say providing a revenue amount.
There's no administrative fees to it.
No. Nope. No. So, yep. And it can get very time consuming if issues arise, which they have on occasion. So, yeah, very time consuming. But that's part of what we do.
And on those special districts, who sets that tax rate? State or the county?
Boy,
Would
on
be-
the
it would be
special
the special,
districts
yeah.
themselves, I'm thinking it's going to be that district.
District sets it.
Yeah. Board.
District is formed, they establish a permanent rate limit, that is that forever. And then it's that
If they wanted to change it, it would have to go to a vote. It cannot ever.
change, they can go out for like a local improvement, you know, a measure or
option.
bond or.
Oh,
something like
okay.
that.
But the actual is,
Once established.
it stays.
Be similar to, let's say our jail. We were not able to like raise the rate of the, you know, the county's tax rates. Didn't do that. Had to do something on it. Separate.
Okay,
It got voted on. Yeah. You can always take less than the rate that's out there. You know what I mean?
that isn't gonna happen, I don't think.
I hear you. So but we have had that a little bit over the years.
Sure.
But from some of the smaller districts have come in, and that's again something that we have to monitor because it usually requires a little bit of confirming. You guys intended this, right? You know, it wasn't a typo or something like that. So, and they're like, yep, that's where we're at. Okay. All good?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yep,
Thanks, John.
betcha.
So unfortunately, Brad isn't available this afternoon, so I think we have a couple of options. I'm happy to read through slides from the road department and attempt to answer any questions you might have. Or we do have 2 future meetings scheduled in January, and we could probably add road department on to one of those. Does the board have a preference?
What is your recommendation?
Well,
I think it's
Um,
best to have Brad here.
I think the road department is a big department,
I do
very
too.
public
Yeah.
facing, so I think it would probably be best to have the road superintendent.
That was kind of what I thought, but.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can skip to it. I think I've more or less got it memorized at this point. So just to wrap it up for anybody who may be listening, we'll continue our core services reviews. We have a few more special meetings scheduled in January. And with the conclusion of those 2 meetings, we will be done with the special meetings for purposes of reviewing the core service description. On January 16th, we have the fairgrounds, OSU, and the museum. And on January 22nd, we have juvenile and the DA. We will add the road department to one of those meeting dates. We'll continue to refine the core service descriptions based on feedback we received from the board, and just internal work in terms of kind of dialing those in and making them as accurate as possible. And then after we conclude those 2 meetings in January, I will bring the package back for presentation to the board at a regular meeting. Any questions?
No? Go ahead.
No questions. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Well,
And thank you, Cheryl and John.
Yeah.
yes, thank you
Today.
both. That will end the special session. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn the core services special session.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
From Rick, I.
Barney, aye. Thank you.